abakusitayo nayogera mangu kitange n'agamba bamutwale mu bapoto abawakana naye essomero nalizimba nabazimbirawo ebizimbe ebyange namalya pise ne kanisa yaabwe yali egudde ningende wa president n'abawa ssente ne bateekako amategula Matale Anglican Church nasomera Matale mix. You see, nothing is more embarrassing than mentioning a school that is no longer in existence. Ubanga tulina ba obbi oba ba oggi. Yes. Anti mulirwanirira. Ate ffe mu myaka gyaffe twateekanga konti never forget ku mbaawo z'essomero. Me I didn't. Nabagamba I will be remembered. I cannot put my name bajja bisangulawo. From childhood I was a very arrogant man. The arrogance just grows. Is a virtue. Kakati nze ngamba abantu ekintu ne bawakana. And me I don't fight. Because you did not consult me. You did not call me. Whatever Museveni does involving millions is helping the sharks. He is helping his mafias in the government. Kubanga who writes ani awandika ebintu bino government policies is Mwenda.
Are you sure?
Mwenda writes these government policies. And that's why Mwenda no munne they have no respect for people. Mwenda yabiwandiika n'abiwamaketingira era naye abavu ali arrogant. Ono ye bujoozi has exaggerated intelligence talina kalina. That one has exaggerated intelligence and privileged wealth talina nakyo intelligence tajina bujoozi n'ajooga abantu n'ajooga n'abba n'akolaki naye talina nakyo intelligence. Let me tell you, this story helps us to explain the problems in land commission. The mafias, because they write these policies, they know Museveni. Who is going to use this money?
Government plan is shillings.
Yes, the 67 trillion. Which government department is going to use this money? Land commission.
Land commission.
Does it surprise anybody with the natural intellect to know that there are troubles in the land commission?
What we should have the internet about one year. When I come Prime Minister, also Prime Minister, Nabanya, Gama President, and Gideon Songa Biencha, is all what they saw in the work. But I miss that or
no. Why should the President Biencha raises a question? Did you pay an existent never cover answer? Answer. Did you pay a non-existing landlord called Namuli? Billions. If you did, you answer one fee. Did you pay or you did not pay? If you paid, where is Namuli? And tell us, you take the journalist to Namuli's land. Kakati
Land commission.
Yes. These are not in newspapers.
It's a Tamil. Land commission.
These are outfits of mafias. Because the money is going to be churned through land commission. Those who are there must be removed. No, you believe today we went to government, we came to government. Tubanikire tala, mwenga mulia. Tubafikiri amazinga mwemulia. Is that what you believe? Twaja fe mumube ewange baba 5 billion. Mbwembwa majikanyuke kasasiro. Oyo mirundi samuzala ngayo. I will never enter that office and I will never work for you. Tigwoyina kubeera mbwa hunting dog. Kati this I cannot buy this newspaper and expose it to my children. It deserves it here. Yes, it deserves to the toilet or to the sigiri. It tells you When the mafias know where the money is going to go, there is trouble. The entry must be removed before money trillion goes there. Yes. This media, I was happy this morning. I rang Bigirimana. Bigirimana is a Catholic, very forgiving. I teased him this morning. When he said, Mirundi, get off my phone, I said he was annoyed. And we've been fighting together his battles. Bigirimana won a defamation case against a monitor, a shutter. We have what we call a broadsheet. We have what we call a shutter, a gutter media. Monitor has degenerated to a gutter out of it. Bamuandikako story. Bamujumu muchifu. Nabawangula mu court 400 million. I teased him. Mr. Bigirimana, my brother, my dear brother, yes. I've heard that he won a case against the media, against Monitor. These are poor newspapers. They will fail to pay and you will close the newspaper. Said, let them close. Because bamu kuba ne bamuonona. Nayo nakulumu nzo muntu nateka bamu mu Monitor. Oba in one of your newspapers. Bonna bamuli ne bafiramu. I sought a nume yange. God forbid. Bani akasajja kabukedde akatasoma akasimanga ebyolooni semakula n'akajene kasoma ebyolooni kakulu byakasomanga byolooni bwankube emyezi 6. Exactly what Bigirimana told me is what I feel. Bayise maama we bukedde yakuba kasajja gwe ne tusinkana mu lifuti gwe efulumya omulambo kulubya ne tusinkana mu lifuti abasenga ne tusinkana mu lifuti bakuba mu bukedde. Museveni ayise nnyina wa mirundi abeerewo nga bamukebera omutwe. My mother who is a cripple nga tebamukubira mu kubba mmere. I come from a rich family. Bamukuba yazaala omwana awagira Museveni. What did they pay me? Bakuba bukubi mawulize. Abakukyala ne baga akavudde Kampala mugawulidde. Museveni ayise mawulisiya bakebere mutabani w'omutwe. Having contributed, dedicated, committed 14 years for you. Nakalema agenda bwendi kwa kulubye ntusinga n'omwatta munni. Zidi nekusanga gwene mwatta munne gwe kulubye. This is what the man has told me. Banku bawonna aba Monitor. They have to pay. You will close. Monitor you will close. Red papers already aliko kikuba mukono is in comatose. Bukedde will close. If these newspapers close, master newspapers, then we shall have the real newspaper, real investors. Okay. These ones, I'm a journalist myself, a highly trained. If I grab, in fact, let me tell you, let me ask one of their reporters. It's called the Seguya. Seguya came quietly to get a photo of me that I drink beer in the morning. I drink beer in the morning, have my money. And beer does not destroy a rich man. I have all the tribes of beer in my refrigerator. Okay. I drink a bottle, kera kunywa. Ugwafuzeke gwe kujjako guno nywa naire space sigatamu. Kakati kajja kabwamani kamera yako. Nali mazo batega mu bukedde. Mugende mukube mwonoone. I bought 6 bottles of beer. Nenzo opening anezeka ku bottle ku table. Nene kwe. Kajja zonna n'obwavu bwako. Kajira ku boda. Kajja kayidde. Bakali kalidde kikomando. He entered the toilet. No, just pull it this fool. He did not use, I did not allow him to use the toilet paper. Nenko fulumyamu. Nenko kuba emisinde. Kadduka emisinde ng'empale eri makati. The bukedde reporter called Seguya. I humiliated him. Nekikamera nekikakanyugirawo. Kagenda ku bodaboda ng'empale byo wandagala omusajja wa bodaboda ennyindo ogiwonese waggulu n'enkabonereza. Newspaper, you read, these are not journalists. Don't treat them as journalists.
They are what?
They are mercenaries. They are paid money to destroy people. This story tells you, yes, this woman, Kurepo, who has made this commission credible so that the government can pass money through it, should not access money. That's why you have generated hatred. And I predict, when I predict 10 things, I see 8, which shall be worse than the Rwanda genocide. Stupid. Do you know the person? The woman, monitor answer one thing. Don't tell us. Minister describes the cause. Where is Nabako? What's the credibility of Nabako very rude down? Tell us what Nabako has ever achieved. She was talking about representative Eritrean police. What is the credibility of Nabako? A person who cannot win an election. Her election was nullified. Do we get credibility from Nabako? Nayo mukazi omulema ne bamudwaginga. Kakati, that one is point number 1. That it explains these people get information from Museveni.
Okay.
They spy on him. Whatever Museveni does or is planning to do, they foresee it and plan is to take them
and sabotage it.
This one will fail. It has started. It has Museveni's project of 26 trillion has suffered a steel bus. It will never materialize. Kubanga tibagala okuteekayo anazibba. When you remove the Land Commission, it means you are going to replace the Land Commission with their allies, Sente Bazib. N'abakoba gwe toyinza kuyitamu. N'abakoba, don't waste your time and resources to go to Mityana. Yasooka kubeera n'abakoba nti Musoga n'afuuka n'abakoba mbu Wampologoma. And the Nabakobas, what do they own? Let me tell you. Money is like marijuana. A person who has smoked marijuana must be known. Unless is a regular marijuana smoker. How much money does this Biencha have? If she stole money, where is it? She's even struck. They create an air of fear. Gwetoba. We are seeing the tail end of mafiaism. I'm telling you. It's too much. Why do you humiliate people to that level? Somebody said, I wanted to take this money so that he can come to me kneeling. I have economically sabotaged, close my shrine. You will see Owagaluvindi, Alia Casasiro, Obagubasibi Danger mu State House. Mudikumutegeriti, Basajamu to Abachao. I hate you more than hate is itself. No, you don't understand. To the media, this mercenary media, there is nobody in Uganda who qualifies to be a journalist. These are masqueraders who are paid the money because their newspapers cannot break even. What makes me annoyed? They have exposed themselves today.
Okay.
The money that is going to go through Land Commission. This woman should not access it. Yes, because he will put it to the task it is intended for. But you know, Zamwe, if this money belongs to you, why don't you put Mugambe Bank of Uganda? Etekeke bifani byamwe, basajja mwe ne bakazi mwe, obujozo bwayitiridde. Yayi nakubwa. Nolaba omukazi omulema, naddane anybody who has had the misfortune, I call it the misfortune of working close to you, goes back with a sad story. If you see the magama boiling in me, you should put up back with your name. Is it how you would reward me? That my mother would survive the lynching, not stealing food from somebody's plantation. I was thrown into a jirikiti where they buried the dead dogs. kano katafanika akajiji kajja kuba beba kutte katoli ku zoom atojja kutemba ojja kutemba kasajja gwe toliddamu kubeera emuppi mbwenja kubeera prime minister muggo prime minister you will be a prime minister in a European jail serving 28 years in prison basajja bajoga nnyo. This story reveals why there is trouble in the land commission. And an idiot, a monitor idiot, gets the audit. Minister describes great. Monitor has no moral authority. A newspaper that has lost a defamation case, you should go. Heads must change in the monitor.
Heads must roll.
Yes, heads must roll in the monitor. Because their newspapers don't break even. The other day, nakubuli awadde ku Sunday, najana ne nkugamba have captured Teddy ngali ne banne.
Yes.
Nga bapulaningira Bujingo. When Bujingo comes back on Tuesday, he will be denied bail, sent to Chitalia, and he's called Malaya, Nebakolaji. And Metala will call and Jamada. Pastor Jamad will convene a meeting of pastors. Kayanja ne Senyunga nga be babirimu. Kati akasajja ka bya mawulire. Muka Kayanja Jessica yakosanyusiza abe masaka buli jota basanyusa. Book did you were dead. It is a dead newspaper. Yesterday, can I tell you where Jessica Kayanja was and it did yesterday? Mbabulire yo. Naye kakati okiraba kaduse. Book does withdrawn the story from which. Because I captured the lawyers plotting against Bujingo kubanga wa muhozi ne bagenda ejjinja bajje ku kyabazinga mbu wa muhozi. What type of people are these? Where did you get this malice? A newspaper cannot afford to be malicious. A journalist cannot afford to be malicious. A journalist must be fair and objective. Where did you learn that journalism? Bravo. Singa bako kamene baka amawuli abantu ne bateka bomb bamu monitor bamu bofo fofo ne buduka ne butakola mirimu. If you are paupers. Journalism is not for poor people, it's not to make money. Journalism is a passion. How much money do you get here? Yes. By the time we started, there were many people around. The scavengers have left. Those who were mercenaries who came for money. Journalism is for passion.
Yes.
We are the forces state. But in Uganda, there is no media institution that qualifies to be a forces state. It was used by a French scholar, a forces state. What constitutes a media to be a forces state? In Uganda, we don't qualify.
Okay.
A journalist must create a marketplace of ideas where people can buy and reject. Two, we sign a non-signed covenant with the masses to help the masses.
Yes.
Not to be hired to fight the masses. That's a propagandist. Even in propaganda, I trained in propaganda in one of the best institutions, Monsi. Propaganda is not lies. Propaganda is the packaging of information, facts, to suit a sentiment. When I go to Makerere, I'm talking to scholars.
Yes.
When I go to my village, I'm talking to peasants. Manya. The similes I'm going to use, the way I handle. When you go to the village, when I London.
So that's packaging your propaganda.
Yes.
Okay.
Bogamba, if we go to Gund, you quote Museveni. The professors will say Museveni is not a scholar. It does not have a PhD. To say what could Museveni which scholar could research.
You can't.
You can't. Coursework by Jesus. Museveni is not a scholar. So, but how many degrees did Nicole Machiavelli have? Socrates in a degree maker. St. Augustine in a degree maker. So, kakati nkugamba, this story gives you anti nkubuli. One, Museveni should stop that money immediately.
As
yimirize.
What happened to the land fund?
Anti kakati the moment Museveni stops the money, najja n'abako bamulandisi, najja n'omuganza mulandisi, n'ateekamu abalala. bategenda kusirika
The problem of the issue in
Nobakova yasaminga gonya abayasaminga nabana musana balinda kugulabinga sente za Museveni. And this is how Museveni does not solve problem. We are talking about this company, Umeme.
Yes.
I say, why should this woman, Nankabiro, talk about compensation? Only. Have we evaluated other alternatives? In political science, any agreement, if you sign an agreement and the conditions under which it was signed change, it is null and void. I can understand.
Okay.
At that time, we did not have money. And we had not, our credit worthiness, we depended on IMF and World Bank. That's why IMF and World Bank were giving us draconian conditions. In fact, Chionga was removed from Ministry of Finance and another man from Public Service, Lubali, because they refused to sacrifice Ugandans. I respect Chionga.
Okay.
My problem with Chionga is not a settled man. Nti abakonjo tebamuagala. You don't need to go to Bukonjo. No. Chionga is Minister of Finance at Soma Finance when these people had just come.
Okay.
Chionga ye muntu yekko YPM yawangula akalulu. But he was forced to go into exile. Naye Chionga, what IMF yatuka to re-entrench. Re-entrench means excessive.
Okay.
Chionga being a peasant, nga yakulya mu bantu ba bulijjo. Chionga and Lubale, by the time we are supposed to go to the conference, the Paris conference in June, Chionga had refused to re-entrench Ugandans. And I remember, Chionga bamulaga ku mawulire agesatu ne Museveni kugenya ne bamulaga nga bamugobi. Chionga refused.
Okay.
Re-entrenchment. Where do I put people? Yes, mbatekewa. Chionga ne bamuga nti yakubizza sente. He printed more money. But Chionga, being a cadre of NRA, did not vomit. I'm being sacrificed to accept it. What did we get from World Bank and IMF? Where is its impact? All of the money we have been borrowing. Kakati, yes, kakati twagenda ne twewola mu World Bank okutereza amasanyalaze ne batugamba waliwo UEB. The British had invested in UEB. The British had an insurance company. Bagitanga batya. Britain yayina company yayo wano ya insurance. Nga ye insuringa damu ye Jinja, Entebbe Airport and Parliament. Hogo Robinson. The company was called Hogo Robinson.
Okay.
It insured the Parliament from colonial times. It insured the Chira Dam. It insured the Entebbe International Airport. Hogo Robinson. Kakati, when Museveni came, he realized the bottlenecks. Museveni identified the bottlenecks to Africans. Okay. Infrastructure, power, chief power, the roads, railways, standard age. Africans had these statements from Museveni, his terms. But Museveni will die like Nkrumah. Nkrumah is known in Ghana, is not popular. Is not popular in Ghana.
It's known outside.
Yes. I told you that whenever I moved with the Museveni international conferences, the moment it was signed that the next speaker is Yoweri Museveni, the full capacity. Twagenda in Nigeria, Museveni n'alekichalinga the purpose of refineries. N'ababuuza, why do European countries have refineries? Do they do it for charity? All of the items mubirekayo. But crude, selling crude is donating money. Museveni. And the president of Nigeria, Yar'Adua, the day, when he went to Nigeria, he told him, do you know that we are the next to speak after you? Yes. But do you know that we decided to speak later? Yes. You had the speech affair now. That's the Museveni.
Okay.
We talking about northern Nigeria. Jibateka conference. Yeah, Museveni is supporting. What they are saying, in the chart, they have a dysfunctional oil refinery. Museveni insisted we must have a refinery here. See crude oil. It is even against the law and the constitution of Uganda to sell unprocessed items. Nekasoli yali amugaye. Kakati nezo na gondi investors parks. Sente bali bagenda kola oluguudo lw'Ejjenja flyover. Museveni negotiated that deal in World Bank. I remember a woman called Ngozi. A woman in Nigerian woman called Ngozi was in charge of African Gold. Museveni asked him, what does Ngozi mean? A skin. Ngozi. Bali bafunye sente. Nga bw'otuuka e Namanve obeerayo flyover. Emmotoka eziva Ejjenja zikwate flyover zino ziyingira mu industry. Sente banasasira. Ask Nasasira where the money is. They're extreme your bonus. Basajja mmwe mu mabuli.
Sente zaaliwo.
Ne land ne bagikwata. Ne baleeta omukazi n'akizuula. Most of the land Namanve teriyo. Bagigula dda bagiremeddeko. The woman was removed. He's a Munyarwanda. Kakazi kattu ne bakagoba. Naye mmwe mulowooza nti mujja kubeera ku nsi kuno, mujja kujooga abantu, mujja kubajooga nga mujooga. Kakati nkugamba nti ebyo byonna Museveni byakoze babifrustrations. Singa Uganda eri wala nnyo naye obubbi bwe balina mu mutwe, obubbi bwabwe nti bwo buli kimu bakibba. Museveni yakwata $400 million n'ateekawo leya. Yes, bazibba zonna. President n'appointing omusajja in writing a young man engineer Lutwama bali bamuse nze namuwe nemutwale w'ekifuta tu motoka yali ekagobako ka mwendo ngo bamutaddeko abanamutta nyinza n'okuboogera motoka ne yeefuula ne bafa ne bamuvaako. Museveni nga muwadde special forces nembuuza Lutwama, is it your man? Why are we fighting? Kakati bakugamba Umeme would not have raised its head if rare, because Museveni realized that you had signed an affair according to that time. Yes, the agreement. At one time Museveni said, we shall have steady power in 36 months. I said, I'm a propagandist. He is talking about 3 years. 3 years would scare the population. He ended up saying what?
Months.
36 months. Kakati now, if we are on our feet, if I marry and I signed an agreement with the local hotel to cook food for me, they bring the food couriers, then I marry. I go back and tell these people. If I borrow the money from a bank at high conditions, do they reject my money if I pay earlier?
No.
China, in 1848, the Chinese, British Anglo-Chinese War, they defeated the Chinese who had discovered gunpowder and were subdued. They used an island, a Portuguese island called Macau, to inject, to pump, to take marijuana to China. The Chinese were forced to smoke marijuana by the British merchants, like these people are doing.
Okay.
But the problem with the British merchants, accumulation, primitive accumulation of wealth, they invested their money to London. Bano bali mu ggula mpenkoni kuzimba mayumba wano na wano ge bagenda obbasooza nga badduka.
I
tell you, I remember where I started. Bin nakalima nina bakuba nja mukuba mufulumi bwolemera mulyango nkukiikamu nga kabada kasobankira ku bannayuganda n'olemera mulyango nkukiikamu nga kabada era nenkufulumya kati toba nga ogenda kutabangula bannayuganda.
Wewa nkwebaza wina yukumire Quest TV otabira mu dilo lyo ali ku mulimu go na otabira ku simu oba ku platforms zenjawulo nga Facebook, YouTube wamune ku YouTube bewazo kumati mutugoberera era nga tugenda okuba tujja kuba tubawe.
But they are saying waliwo abagamba nti temutuwulira. Is it true?
Waliwo abagamba
ring us.
Okay, kituufu.
Because people are saying there are people who are ringing us saying that the voice, you don't
volume
hear
is a
us.
bit low. Okay.
So I was explaining.
Before you explain, nyongera okuba nti nebaza mwenna abeekuumiddeko era nga nebaza abakulu abali ku Lwana Villas Entebbe ku Garuga, nebaza okuba nti nokwemu, nebaza abasawo Jobero okuba nti mutumbudde, nebaza okuba nokwemuli gwagala okuba nti ofuna akanyiriro abakoleko obulungi nnyo Sawa Jobero Makindye weeri, nebaza Brendas
Nabaddeyo Brenda nabaddeyo
akasuka temagana
nabaddeyo wa Brenda.
Lwako muzeeyi abantu bambuuza nti butuufu
naye olumu enkofiira eno ogiraba erimu ebigendera mmwe naye bwe mba nzija mu bantu mbijjamu kuba nyinza okugijjamu ensi neyeekanga.
olwo ono omukulu kituufu agambye mutuufu agambye ka volume katono producer nja kuba musajja wange okwatiremu kaawo agambye ka volume ntono nnyo abantu tebatufuna bulungi so
yongeramu oba tonoonye
naye nga era nnyera okuba nti majukiza omukulu Dr. Omusawo Omukukunavu Nakinku yavumbula eddagala erya pressure, ulcer, sukaali, kansa wa buli kikaina asobola okuba nti akuwonye ebizimba mu nabaana ebizimba wa byonna asobola okuba nti akunyanya bagolina asthma nende zonna ezikusumbwa ayagala okuba nti notereera teri musawo munene agenda kuba nti akukolako kubanga banja mwedde obujulizi nga ne mukutamba n'emirimu naye mwenyini
obulago obwange buli kiriya
Kayonza
yampa eddagala
Kasero Buloba mailo 10 kilometers 2 ku Mityana Road osobola okuba nti mufuna ku namba y'essimu
nze muweera obujulizi
0701 877 116 0701
and this is the trend
116
okuwa namba teddagala lyaffe katuweebweyamu ngono dokita Jjanjaba kansa bwe yakoze n'aleeta abantu bonna abeerayazi tetujja kuwa namba teddagala lyaffe afere Museveni tetuyinza kuddira kompitiita waffe ayina sifa organic tumutwalire eddagala lyaffe alibbe era byebyo Museveni ye bamuzingiza kati sente zaali saakyazibwa bannabati kibula tafunyeemu kakati nkugamba
gwe naye ayina ensonga yo weyagala kuba nti otufuna ne mukutamala emirundi olina obuzibu wega tukonika tukoonako enamba esobola tufunirako eri 0701 37 9861 enamba eyakwega netaliiki 0701 37 9861 osobola okuba nti ombuulira nosonga emesagi esaza kuba nti nkukoonako oyogera ensonga obuzibu kyobuli mu kitundu kyammwe tugenda tubutegeeza eggwanga genda mu maaso
kakati nkugamba nti the Chinese, the British and you see the Chinese why they are tough on their money. The Japanese cut half of China, a quarter of China. Never batandika bagezesako chemical weapons.
Okay.
Yes, tuziita tutya. Pidgin go tuziita tutya. Guinea pigs. Japan was expelled from the League of Nations for what it was doing in China. Kakati the Chinese waited patiently until the 100-year agreement with the Britain expired. And by the time, the Chinese had become a superpower.
Okay.
If you don't agree, then we shall send troops to Hong Kong. The British delayed what? But China was determined. Because the situation under which the other agreement of 100 years was negotiated had changed in favor of China.
Okay.
Kakatugamba, why should Nankabiro tell us to compensate?
Compensate, we buy out.
Are you saying there is no possibility of negotiating with the Umeme a new deal that reflects the current situation? Because my disagreement with the Umeme arrangement, the Umeme in a company dictated to them by the World Bank, tuina akola amasanyalaze, tu ejinja, tuina transmission, tuina abanja, a company zirinya. What does it mean? It means all of these companies end up putting their burden on the unit.
Final consumer.
Can't we, under this agreement, remove the four companies? Why should Nankabirwa insist near the budget allocation that it is only money? Is Umeme not willing? Abaganda bakugamba nti atuuse bugga yerabira embooge
Okay.
Emboga is a vegetable in Uganda, but it is a risky vegetable. Emboga, once you see a snake and you don't examine whether it is a shadow or a snake, and you power emboga in your house in the pursuance of a snake, if you did not see properly, emboga kills. You lose one of your children.
Okay.
That's why Baganda fear emboga. Emboga is very easy, and emboga kubuguma. Emboga does not need a lot to even your sanja can warm up emboga.
Okay.
But Baganda fear emboga. Kakati the Baganda tell you, bokuze a buga, this ready vegetable, a buga. Is this when you forget emboga? This is what NRM, the mafias in Museveni's government operate.
Okay.
Once they use emboga in all the times. Once money comes, then they get the vegetables.
Okay.
If you survived with your wife in poverty, once you get money, the principle of the mafias in NRM, you marry a new one that fits your current situation.
Okay.
Yes, that's how they operate. Tisente bwezijja bano badde bakolera mu buzibu abo nga tubagobawo. Sente zina kuvago. Give us, you are locally. Give us a line, a verse in the Bible which tells us that we are born to be your servants. That when money comes, we are your hunting dogs. For us, we are not supposed to get money. Ewange batwala 5 billion. No reason. Nunje mukuba. Nunje batamu. That should I surrender 5 billion? In the future to account for it.
To account for it.
Nanyini single yazagala. Oh. Mwatwala 5 billion bajemba kubyemu. Emisanga ejiri ebweru. Sente zemu you are like muzijja mu government. Mwaka gatako 0 mutwalo gumu. The money you are using okuba 5 billion bwemba kubye mugaseko 0 mutwalo gumu. Next time try me.
Okay.
Kakati ontayina kuba na sente. Kakati nankabirwa comes up in a budgetary issue. Blackmailing us. No. Let us hear from Umeme. Umeme, are you willing to renegotiate the deal?
The deal or not?
Nankabirwa. Akakazi akatalina bwe kali. Kakubulizamu. You should be quiet.
Kale, kwatamu katono nnyo. Ngenda kusaba katugende katerezemu katono nnyo katudde mu kabudakika katono nnyo. Tova ku TV tukomawo.
Era nja bongera ku program endala. Nja mbongere mbabye. Nja bobubbi mbumale wano. Tumulitayo kubba. Says who can compromise me? Kubenyondo mutwe ba mbwatuka.
Sajinzira muzisindika muga mukulu Tamale mu mwebazo kuba nti annyonnyola ensonga ne tubetundira kula kavuli makade kacyankalanye omukulu nnono.
Kakati nkubuulira. Tekyo kitegedde.
Nkitegedde.
Nti like I wrote a book where NRM loses propaganda wars. Once these people are bought, have you seen the response, the rebuttal from Biencha? Even if Biencha calls a press conference, this already bought media will not do it.
Audience.
No. Today, if Umeme comes up and says, we are ready to renegotiate, it will not go through. These are not in newspapers. These are gutter. These are high mercenaries.
Okay.
That anybody who says that these are journalists is missing a point. You look at this man. I want to tell him, I will go to the bookshop and ask. They say, he says, and yet Kakwenza still writes present continuous. Which one? Which book is this? I wrote a book 5 years ago. How King Musanje saved his kingdom from Omukolo Embao. He was not arrested. Yes. Has he won a Nobel Prize? If this food was dumped in his place. Did we say Raji Crowley that received him?
No.
No. It is monitor. They discredited the monitor. They said Museveni recognizes the monitor. Even the story Museveni recognized was a paid up advert. Monitor. Those who started the monitor, like Kevin Yariro, their bones are trembling in their graves. The Cheye who lent you money. The first edition was paid on credit, printed on credit by Pike, William Pike, shed his tears when he sees that this newspaper has degenerated to a gutter press. I did at university.
Okay.
My thesis was on journalists running their newspapers. I had a lot of admiration for the Monitor.
Okay.
But the Monitor is a gutter now. This Kenyan must go. I think they got money. See, poor people. Never allow poor media institutions in Nordic countries. They're given money. Newspapers are given money to survive. Let us save this Monitor by contributing money.
Okay.
I will contribute $1 million to save this newspaper from degenerating into a gutter.
Otaddewo million number.
Yes, if they come up and confess, we are doing this because we have no money. This, the pathologist, police pathologist, who is involved in the organic case, went to their KFM and said they don't exist. I pounded him. The Chinese and the Pakistanis who are involved in killing Ugandans for export. They paid the media in Uganda 10 billion.
Okay.
And Mwenda, when Mwenda was cheated, he came up and published a story in the Monitor, in the red paper, was given more money, additional 5 billion. Starving him. Where I work for you in the old age, you can starve me, starve who? After the allocation of the budget, they want to snatch money from other ministries. Did we know this when the budget was being allocated, discussed by Parliament? Why should such stories come now? Where was the minister? How many ministers are inherited? Why did they tell us that this exists?
See, there's these machines.
Who is in charge of this Monitor? Who is killing it? He must be a Kenyan. Who is Kayad? Thinks this Kenyan believes that we are stupid. Whoever is doing this is killing the Monitor. We call it reverse psychology and propaganda.
Okay.
Well, now with that, all ministries have allocated the money.
Money, yes.
If they don't want to snatch money from other ministries, this is a company that wants now to use the Ministry of Health money to buy this. Why haven't this been highlighted before the budget?
Before.
No, who is the editor of this newspaper?
I don't know.
He must go to Butabika.
Sure.
Yes. He's killing his intelligence to people who are intelligent. There's also another story on Harris.
Only 3 killing machines.
Why didn't we hear this
before?
How can somebody say, do you know, on the eve of the wedding, the suits, we forgot about suits. Are you mad? Are you mad? I tell my children, you are going back to school. Me, I don't listen twice. Sit down and put money contingent. Once I give you money because I have many children, tell me your allocation and the board. Where was these stories? Before, what do they feature immediately? Yes. At one time, I went to a wedding. That's why I'm controversial. The man had listed among the items to be contributed to the knickers of the Mugole. I said, you stand up. I'm going to buy the knickers. He clapped. I said, you are stupid. When a human being, a man who is normal, read these knickers, what enters in his brain. And if the woman knows that this is the man who bought the knickers at 5 million shillings, how will this woman, unless is important, compensate her? This is why your wedding is collapsed. You get a list of donors to your wedding,
yes,
to your wife, and the woman looks for somebody who has contributed. You look them for them and compensate them. Why do you bring in knickers? Because even if, unless the knickers are required in the church, that is a type of knickers that are required in the church.
But
why do you mention knickers?
Never type of knickers.
If money has been allocated to Ministry of Health, what makes this important? These are companies that are using this newspaper. I tear it in 2 pieces.
Money was allocated.
Yes.
What else has not been
given? On the Lokodo. Lokodo is going to go like this man.
Like who?
Muteviri.
Yeah.
Lokodo, has he died in the only way, the time I heard about Lokodo was a misallocated minister in ethics.
How?
Misallocated.
How was he misallocated?
Ethics does not mean in Uganda. Ministry of Ethics can work in our tribes. This is a taboo in Ankole. This is a taboo among the Basoga. This is the taboo in Acholi. This is the taboo in all our nationalities.
Okay.
They are taboos. So if in a kingdom you have a Ministry of Ethics, it can make sense.
In a kingdom?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why they are self-enforced. They enforce themselves. Does the Kabaka have a prison of a person who marries his daughter? The Bazungu came with incest. Even marrying from the same clan.
From the same clan.
Is not allowed. But does the Kabaka have a structure that he was so? The Baganda have one thing to isolate him. Mumubole. Okubola. Not prison. Okubola. Tojja kulia naffe. Tojja kubeera mu family member. Tojja kubeera naki. Because the people when you read society transformation, tribe is society at the infancy stage.
Okay.
They use rudimentary methods, rudimentary tools. Kinship is very close to building. You must be in a group. Kakati today, where we are interrelated, even religious leaders have found an inter-religious council where Catholics can meet. I said that today, the reason why in my opinion, why the Vatican chose Semogere is not a Congo Catholic. He did not originate from the minor seminaries. He went to the seminary when he had already grown up.
Okay.
He under these circumstances, and he had a stint in Kasana, where the Protestants are strong. If you can make inroads or work with the Protestants, then this is the type of people Vatican wants. You are the Archbishop people want, who can interrelate with the population, with the all religious groups. But a fundamentalist, a fundamental hierarchy, kategori. Singa ogenda kumukono nenkuyita ewange ne tukuba akawonero omusalaba kino tukikusaba nga tuyita mwana wa Yesu Kristo. You can storm out. Katonda tazaala bwekiri kakati goyinza okujja ewange nalabanga bakujja wange abasiraamu ne baganda bange nga ate mirundi eswani zaabwe zabeerangawo nga ntereke because of my mother's background. Naffe mu busiraamu naye baaddiranga akatambaala ne bakayisa ku sowaani ne basoma bisimira kuba tebamanyi oba ate nga kuliko omusajja ku kyalo baali bamuyita Sadiiki was a Muslim. Twatwalangayo enkoko to be slaughtered kuba bakoddomi ba mirundi bazze ne baganda babasiraamu naye nga tagamba nti bwemumala ogifumba mundeetere. He pleased himself, appreciated nti a kafiri can bring enkoko to be slaughtered by Muslim because of his Muslim brothers have come, his Bako have come. Sadiq. I don't know Sadiq's children now. I need to go home and trace them. But such a people we need the people abasobola a new atmosphere. Which means one of the reasons why Museveni afuze emyaka gino gyonna abantu bali bamuyita mu communist tayina ddiini. Tayina ddiini gyatiitiibye. Kyovula kano katumwebaze bwe kamala okutegeera nti bakajimbye kali ku Zoom ne kakwata tractor ne kasitwalira gundi kazimba. Museveni, I condemn it. Museveni, if Museveni wants to give tractors, this is universal. Call all religious leaders and give them tractors. That's Museveni. There was a time until yagenda ku mukolo gw'Abakatoliki nga n'ab'e Namugongo yasooka kuba akatuliki n'agenda mu bakristaayo yabagamba I had to come to start somewhere because I could not address you at the same time. I'm coming from the Catholic. Museveni obulokole babugamba mulala obulokole bandi bakola church mwala nakola church. This is why the Catholic Church was scared. Wili byenyima kyali kimulese to be a Catholic first lady to tame the influx of the balokole. When I see Jessica and Teddy moving somewhere yesterday, I said these people, naye at least yokayonjo ne senyonga banakakanako. Ate waliwo abasajja babayita batowa serwale bagambye omanyi bamaliwo na senyonga babadde avuma bonna beegasse bagenda kwesonseka mu senyonga babayita batowa serwale senyonga bajja mufulumya mu kanisa ng'empale tagi mulinnya omutwe ne makansi senyonga ajja kufuluma ekkanisa ye nga yeekutte wakati naye ayipraise Bujengo. Do you know that I have Bujengo mugezi Bujengo musajja muntu omulala nayise Bujengo ne mugamba ti busidimbu lina jangu obukube mu kkanisa yo from Sunday I have not seen Bujengo
yaganye okujja
yagambye abo nabalekera Yesu remain with your tapes. Anybody I saw to that Bujengo would come learning yagenze sibafaanana ate mwana wange ne kati akasajja kano okalaba bakataddeko miliyoni 3 kazijjebwa kyengambye Bigirimana nkubona Bigirimana fe Abaganda tugamba tekuba muli enkejje obusomi enkejje erina boni malo bakakubye bakakozesa nekatwala Museveni mu court of appeal nekatwala Kabaka nange kali kaneerezeemu kati tekali mu law society
male mabirizi
mukasonyiwe kakubidde kayanja essimu nga nkalaba ndikamukubira nikamugamba mbadde njagala tusinkane yakagambye nze nsabisa nekakwate ku mutwe bwe kati omanyi ebyuma byange biraba ebyuma biraba nakalabye nga katakula omutwe. No, the judges should not behave like a village woman. If this man abused you ate toyidda kuddira mbazze n'ogikubya ki? No. Million 3 kinene nnyo, what is his income? Don't gag. Temusirisa bantu mwaka waliwo bakakubanga kali ku pick up katudde mabega n'endulundu y'ebitabo kasitoola abasamu mukyogera ti bw'olabanga omuntu akuwaana oyikwatanga enfuufu n'ogimuyira mu maaso. These are flatterers. When you see monitor red paper and bucket writing constant articles about you, you are in danger. Never kakuba mauli kati okalabyemu. Has any newspaper written about this man that he got an excessive punishment from a court of law? I told you about a judge who was compensated sente n'azirya ate azeye masindi okutawanya abantu yatudde kati abadde ate omusanga gututte wannakalema. How can a judge take a case to an LC? No. Era kyembabuuza, why do you believe that in a government where the devil is in charge of government departments who diverts Museveni's money nti amasannyalaze sente mwazibba esente za radio mwazibba ne TV esente z'obugaali eza Museveni mwazibba, why do you believe that the electoral commission will not have problems? Why do you believe busajja mwe bwa monitor? Why don't you write about the $400 million Museveni invested in Irea? Why don't you talk about highlight the money 19 billion that was supposed to buy radio, yellow TV and radio sets? You are mercenary media. Monitor now can be classified as a gutter newspaper. Ataka mya itaka yo.
Waliwo wano omukulu tampulidde mannya ge naye nga naye agambye nti akwegattako okuba nti waaki kampuni zonna Rea zaani tebazigatta zonna omeme nebeera ng'ekintu
anti yalibadde debate
zonna nezikola ki neziba nga
anti kugambye nti yalibadde debate but Nankabirwa comes out with the compensation.
Yensonga enkulu.
Even the doctors before they reach on the civilian bakukubye ebisa byonna biganye even insulated bisa a woman kati nankabirwa akoleetera kimu era tekijja kudda nja kuba monitor whoever comes out okuba mukozi nja mukuba whoever comes out okuba sente z'abannayuganda nja mukuba whoever comes out twataaka Museveni nja mukuba why batusomesa mu byobufuzi ne batugamba one of the reasons why you should support something must be a selfish reason.
Okay.
Although Museveni does not give him money, you know. Museveni cannot give him money because the battle is inside his palace. By giving him money, one side will accuse him of fueling, arming me. I know it. I'm a strategist. See for not said Museveni. That one I know. One of the surgeons has a quarter mukbe biata ulirangana. Kakati one of the. That's why I say, although Museveni does not give him money. But has created a conducive environment for me. For you. Mutabani wakajiju tasobola kuba kana koze ka UCC baka kuba ne bakajjako. I have security tebajjuddawo military ne police bani ba mirundi. So I know nti era ekyo obwera bankugamba ne muhozi tandabangako naye muwagira lwekyo. Yes, it is a selfish reason. Muhozi cannot put me in prison. No. Sita kukiriza ono anjoza anjavuwazizza even to be in the corridors of power. I will fight him up to the end. Talibeerako mu corridors of power. Okay. So one of the reasons is should be when I see people who are victimized like me, I come up and support them. Ate gwekankubuuliza byenki atayina na kikumi tayina basooka dde omulwanyisa tayina ne baloya tayina bakwata akawunti n'abakooba kati bakweyambisa. They will dump you. They will dump you like a hunter who abandoned the hunting dog when the leopard or python grabs it. Gw'osoose gw'osoose nnyabo oli wa kitalo nnyo okube munno omulema nagundi yeekwese namuganza yeekwese kakati eti me finalize with the land.
Okay, as you finalize
land the law doesn't solve land. I have never heard where land has been solved amicably.
Nga bayise mu kutegeeragana
tekiriyo. In Britain 1200 AD the Black Revolt. Peasants rose against the landlord. In Kenya it was Mau. In Zimbabwe nationalization. South Africa is fidgeting like Uganda. That's why Malema asks, where you have a willing buyer, there must be a willing seller. Because most of the land in South Africa belongs to the whites. They are not ready to sell. Can Museveni force me to sell my Chitange Yalika Square Yika to Sanvumunkaga? Can Museveni force us under this law to sell our? We can keep it under prestige. So the law must be clear. Those who have decided to rear people cannot sell, cannot evict them. The law. Whoever does it, mwerwaneko. Tumutubulira balamuzi, tuwerwaneko, tulete embwenjizi, tubakube. Lwakite mukiza tubakube. Lwakite mukiza tubakube. Whoever comes to evict people, people must resist it. In the constitution, our constitution says, abalijjawo constitution yenu mu kifuba bwe baligenda mu nsiko ne bagizaawo, they will be paid from national coffers. Bring such a provision in the law. If you don't want to sell land, okujjudde abatuuze, you are going to take chi. When you evict them beerwaneko on addition, abayizi eri bakugamba before the federal army comes from Tel Aviv, mumba mwerwanyeeko.
Nzitamali wogamba okwera naku kichotegeeza mu kwerwanako.
Tujeyo embwenjizi, tukube Buganda Land Board. But abasenze beerwaneko.
Solution ekisobola okusobola ky'ettaka.
N'ebiro byonna bya bulimba. Museveni is going to put their money bazibbe. They are going to create artificial namulizi. N'abakooba ansa namuli nga tebannakuwasa ssente zino. N'abakooba ansa. Namuli gwe mwasasula, where is namuli? In Bunyolo. N'abakooba bano tebayina. I do follow the newspapers, more following than the newspaper of Uganda, than the media combined. Because I reason.
Yeah.
Okay, nti two, Museveni cannot, if the Indians came back and claimed their properties, ne mubibawo. You were protecting the provision, the respect of ownership of property. Why does Museveni fear nationalization? He fears nationalization. Why? He's also a property owner.
The property owner.
Nationalization will chase away people. This is what Mugabe did.
Okay.
Because Mugabe was the British government somewhere negotiated a deal nga balimu okusasula ki. Kakati abazungu ne bakibala. These are Zimbabweans, but they are white.
Yes.
Where are they going to go? Lulia Kenya bagendanga Australia bagendanga wa ng'Abaganda bwe bwatese ekibanja tekitta tekitta bakuga omwana tatta kibanja. Omwana bw'afa osigala, omukazi we bw'afa odduka.
Kituufu.
Yes, Abaganda used to migrate. Kakati tukyalina gye tulaga. Kakati kitegeeza ne mu Zimbabwe bwe kyali. Mugabe had to confiscate farms. The management failed, but if the Zimbabweans went to war to reclaim their land, how could Mugabe fail to tell the Chiwawe Chife? Farms afa naye nga bebazirina. Kyebalwanira mu independence. Nobody bwe yakola. Obote yagamba nti Ugandans are fought for independence. To chase away, to manage the economy. Kakati tukole tutya. Agriculture tomuyingiramu. Yempoloyinga abantu abangi. What you do? Fix the price.
Okay.
Bo balime.
Okay.
But emwanyi zaabwe ziteeko Obote. Obote never tampered with. Kiwanuka yena agatuongeze ebbeeyi y'emmwanyi. Obote namugamba nti but you are using reserves that exist. Bano bajja ne batakula ebyemmwanyi ne batakula ki ne babiribolaize nga bibalemeddewo. Obote n'agamba nti what do? We don't have entrepreneurs. Kati tuddire amakampuni g'abayindi tukagulemu 51%. Basigaze 49%. Bafulumye. What do we want? Cheap things to the peasants. These were independent African leaders.
Yes.
This is it is only failed in methodology, in implementation. Nti abayindi abaali bakolera ku business settlement batandika nabo okulagaya kuba sente zivaawa. Every year nga government efulumya sente zimizeewo amakampuni. Until Museveni came, we had what we call for crop finance. Cooperatives nga bazirwa sente zigula ebintu. Why? The issue would be solved by making them profitable, by having democratic and competent leaders. What should the shareholder want? I want to get dividends.
Yes, true.
Kakati, that's one. Two, the people who own land, nga mukatabo kange bwe nkugamba kano, nti land mwasangibwamu mu Buganda square manya miles akakumi kamu mukenda mukaaga. Akanaana ne bakawa abaami, including my grandfather. Grandfather wange afunira wa? Yali tafunye mu Kanaana. Naye bwe bawa square miles 8 zaabalimu kuba nga tebalina ssente z'abasaveya. Kakati as a result ebyapa ne babiguza abagagga. My grandfather was a rich man. Sembuya. Ye munne yamuwa hafu ya gundi. Yamuwa nga bimulemye okuba ye ate afunye era byaliwo edda ne ku mulembe gw'Obote wafunanga location egula omwenge naye nga tolina ssente n'ogitunda ng'okwata kadi ya UPC okwata kadi y'Embaga n'ogiteekako ebbaluwa ya chairman wa UPC n'ogenda mu Nile Breweries waliyo omusajja nga bamuyita Luwero n'omutundira awo. Nabo era bwe baali mu Buganda Akanaana. Kakati Akanaana kazze kakyuka ani akalina? Kazze kakyuka
ani akalina?
That's
the question.
Yes. Are the people who are evicting Baganda now, are the original Baganda? About a certain percentage. Ebizukulu. Ebije Kampala nebitunda ettaka. The third point on this land, churches. They own land 93 square miles. Never nadini by ham mukasa babawa. Bayina ettaka lya Meka. Ani aguze ettaka lya Catholic, the Anglican Church Entebbe Gaziyekeza. Government yennyini.
Eguze ettaka lya ki? Eri ekereziya.
Yerigula eryagundi. Abamerika be bagula ettaka lyawo. Be bagula ettaka lya ekereziya ery'ensambi. These are formidable forces. Yes, they will prefer. Gwe kyogamba nabagamba nti prostitutes don't even Muganda prostitutes cannot tell you her kirani name. Tayinza kuba nti nze Namuddu
takyogere
tiobanze namuli aguza ne bannyina malaya tagaba bbanja malaya tagaba
bbanja kikaze kubanga
naye malaya tagaba bbanja naye gwamugula malaya olina okumanya nti bw'olwala tajja mu ddwaliro kulambula. Yes, you must see the advantages. Kakati I'm telling you. Is the government paying in case we have the price of government, a government valuer, and there is another one that wants to buy land. Has the government put a law that in case it is this land occupied by peasants will only be bought by government? The final one.
Okay.
This government that has lost trust and credibility. Nabagandi Museveni yasigaddemu yekka n'amagye.
Waliwo nno question eno ku magye.
Tuyina elements.
Waliwo question eno ku magye.
Kakati nkubuulira. Sifaayo. Nkugamba nti Abaganda beebuuza. Gavumenti bw'eba yeetugulidde ettaka. Ebyapa byayo
oba byaffe
kuba baawulirako kyapa mu nnyuma. Mayiga yaleeta kyapa mu nnyuma.
Kyapa mu ngalo.
Nedda kyapa mu nnyuma. Ekyapa in the buttocks kyamulema okupamu.
Mzee Tamale.
Mayiga afumudde olugezigezi. Tyaddire ffe batuwe gundi batuwe liizi yanze kuŋŋaanya ne kalubindize asitwale wa Museveni amuweemu ssente. How can you give a Muganda a lease? What if it expires?
It expires.
Let me tell you.
Abana chali mutu.
Yes, a lease ya 49
years.
Museveni abadde mu buyinza emyaka emeka.
Katugenda mwana.
Ekitegeezo nsigaze emeka. 9. Lease eggweko.
Olonzirewa.
A lease has conditions. If after observes you after 5 years,
yes,
he can change his mind.
2,
the leased property, you know, waliyo yagalachi, ti residential, jifule commercial jikuteko, you file it there. Nalincho kuna, bima yugo, nebagambu nange nene chapa, chwale bima, mbusimanyi nene chapa, nalincho bemuanga mu studio.
Waliwo n'omukulu William. Nationalization is the way to go.
Who is going to be the owner? And then nationalization, who is going to be the owner?
The owner.
Kubanga ffe Abaganda batunyumiza akagero. Ti abaana beggama enkuba ne basangamu ezzike. Ezzike ne libawa akanyama. Kakati baba bagenda mpaka nyama kangero n'agenda. Baganda asking, the peasants asking, Museveni is a good man. Ye ebyapa abituwadde. Are they going to be freehold? Oba a new government will come. Nega ndi Museveni yakola mistake.
Mugikombe w'ettaka eryo. Question eyo. Ananyina okugiddamu.
Andi nkubuulira. Once you don't allow debate, n'otakkiriza Yosefu, ne mumukwata ne mutunda emisiri. Nze nsirika busirisi. Kubanga I will defeat you. Whatever you do, I will defeat you. So we must generate debate.
Yes.
Nti you are dealing with this. Nabagamba ti mu psychology tuyina kita Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome means nti omusajja yakwata omukazi n'amugalya mu dungeon amurepinga nga bw'ayagala. Omusajja ali gundi bulamba najja n'akebera mu kizimbe n'awulira omukazi akaaba n'alaatinga poliisi. Terwali luyimba lwa ggwanga kubanga fane noise ogitegeera n'akaaba for help. Kakati naita police, they laid an ambush for the man. When the police stormed the dungeon, ng'omukazi ne bbawe bali ku sex, omukazi yakuba police. Yes. N'omukazi entebe era mu hotel. Yali agamba no n'abakazi abazungu. Baneighbors baga nti being raped. Police egenda okutuuka yajja yeyambwe. Who told you that I'm in trouble? This is how I do it. No.
That is my way of doing it.
Doing it. Bagenda bakotesa emitu. Kakati ba psychologists in Sweden ne bayiye ekituyisa mu psychology tukiyita Stockholm syndrome.
Okay.
A person after going through a lot of humiliation akinyumira. Boda gwagituddeko nze ntunuli wa boda agituddeko nga tagimanyi. Aba atunudde eno gyeraga yotegeera mupya naye agimanyidde
teyefiirayo.
Ebirombe bwe bikuba abantu bawandikirawo abalala. Ekizimbe mu Kampala ekigudde nga bakyajjayo bali n'ogulawo ofiisi ewandika abanazimba wabeerawo abala. Why? These people are used to this situation. Kati abasenze mu Uganda, they are used to the situation. We abasenze endagaano y'olwenda emaze emyaka 10 obukumi bagifuula kalica. Ffe tuli basenze. Omuko yajja okulya oluwumbo lw'enkoko ne bwerugwa. Muno basajja be bannannyini nebakyo bwona buno Kajiji yagendawo mu nsiko, kitaawe wa Mwenda yagendawo mu nsiko, omukatu Joga yagendawo mu nsiko, naye abantu bakkiriza. Kigonge yali mu nsiko, Nadduli yali mu nsiko, mukyala Njube nokkiriza buno obusajja buno ne bumujoganga benyondo omutwe naliyo mu nsiko ne mbutta. Kakati omuntu atuuka ekiseera Museveni must change the psychology. And he's talking, the president is talking as if there is a bitter war between Mengo and Ani. The Baganda will say with you. You a new man. We have been with our kingdom. Okay. Which one do we prefer? If we change agents, a mass communicator is a change agent. A psychologist is a change agent. Okay. And you must look at Kubakomala Abakazi. Watch Bakomala. To please the men. That is the men reject Abakomali. Abatali Bakomali Babawe Dawale Yemu. They will change. But if you don't look at the psychology, Abaganda Ambaman, Ayagala Kubatakari, Akakodio Kakubataka, Twamutegedda, Museveni Twamutegedda, Kati Museveni, Najabanenu, Kabaka Yeka, Museveni Ainabo Gazabali articulate, Abana Mutundi ekintu kye. Tajja kusanga be baguze ebyapanga babadde bifu originating from government. Kisobokera ddala. So nti n'abakooba atandikiddewo n'akomero bakubona omukazi omunyolo ababuuza mmwe ettaka mwaligula bunyolo n'abakooba yonokula bano bamonita banukule twagala enkya monita yanukule. Did the land commission pay woman called in Namuri billions who does not exist? This is what I expect from monitor tomorrow or 2 days after today. You tell us, answer the valid question, the fundamental question. Don't meander. Monitor. Even a prostitute knows how far it can go. Tell us, Gandhi, and interview the woman. I want a newspaper to interview this woman. Ababuri Namuri. And it will open up. If one Namuri got billions, and if they are fighting, it's not in Namuri. A fool is hiding. A thief must be intelligent enough to cover his marks. But because you are fools, this is why you leave evidence. Why do you use Namuri? Why do you use Namuri? Because he's a Muganda. So they use Namuri. Where is Namuri? Who owns the land? Fake titles. N'abakooba ku luno walumi Abaganda bagamba omanya Abaganda kibakugamba embuzi bw'erya ku ttale eteekamu egenda n'eriramu akakere ako Abaganda bakayita batya ke kaabye embuzi olubuto. Mafiya bukyengoba yali akakere mwali abutanga buli bwe munajja omutwe nja gukuba buli bwe munajja ate I'm not killable. When you kill me, I move with my back clothes in my vehicle. Every maggot is paid for by a member of the killing family, by your members. Kale. Simon kwebaza okubantu badde ko ne chimba chobuza chiko you abandon is a stealing. Alan TY Jeruzia ne bali kobera tinno badde ko webaza mkutameno muza Sandba Generator egambe etya Sandba Generator kyeba koleza gabadde kaganyo kwa Rwanda Sandba Generator negenda yo manya omwana ambabulire mu fa Abaganda omwana agenda okusikira omutumatuma ko mission n'ogenda naye mulumbe abakulu ne bamulaba n'agenda negotiating ku deal ne baganda mirundi ono mwana ono yabeera mulumbe amanya abataka buli mbanga munyomya era ekitegeeza nti oli musajja mukulu leadership okusolvinga problems ate mwana ngekitegeeza n'amagye gali stable baka kati waliwo peace n'atambula n'alaga wana nze ndi ku standby generator omukulu eyambanja mukuba paka omulwalitamu paka lwalinvaako paka ejjogo lirimuvaako paka lwaligende Hague paka lwamusibire Hague ejjogo lyeri kunjavuaze ate gwafuuka muteego kati gwafuuka muteego omuteego you cannot just throw money on me muzisuula mu masanganzira put money on my account tetulyogeraku ku nsi muka buli
Pastor Andrew owa Grace Excellence Church Kachiri mwebale kuba nti kwe muli agambye naye Pastor aina bakonyeka obagazani bujingo ebyo mukuru ebyogeddeko dda Adams okuva
Jessica ne Teddy bayina gye babadde
mwebale kuba nti nokuwoli
Teddy kati alina kujja musango mu kkooti kuba baloya bagambye Teddy mulalu kakati oba Teddy mumwamula by'ombulalu mu ssaawa 2 ze mwamazeeyo Teddy ng'amaze obafumbira naye Teddy wakoze bubi abasajja abo be wafumbidde ekijjulo bwe bamaze okukira baga the woman is mad we cannot even take her to court we shall use mitala she will spoil the case naye bwe tufuna ffe akasente kaffe Kayanja ne Ssenyonga ne bakatuwa ne prosecutor tuli naye ate etteeka muhooza n'alikola atya ate waliwo n'abakazi abanene abaagala ennyo etteeka lino limulemereko bamusibe ne malaya you cannot gwe you perform better ffe mujje mutwebuuzeeko abalina embooko z'abakazi be tumaze nabo emyaka nga tebanoba
omukulu Mamadi
mutwebuuzeeko how do we manage
Mamadi okuvina kasi kagambye akakere kali bakayita akawulula
akakere kasembuze erwa ku ttale n'eri akawulula kamese kakere katono bwe kati erina kwabika n'abakoba kuluna wali kawulula waleeta namuli wali n'abakoba Museveni what he has to do even to reshuffle mulandizi kati Mayanja oyo omulaba talina 11 tebayinza muwa kati Mayanja bamwogeza mu mawulire avuma kabaka Mayanja tamanyi nti ali ku self direction
ye munyini yesanyawo
singa Museveni atuma Mayanja Emmengo lwali ayinza okulinnya
tekisoboka atandikirawo
but Museveni needs the people who can mediate
abasobola okwogeragana bwe kiri
yes you don't need to abuse the kabaka Mayanja mukwano gwange yawana omwana nga omulimu but I have not had the time to lecture him bebakukubako extremism bikutta
eri efananye
nti kabaka Museveni yajja kuyita delegation y'Emmengo agigaye nti bamugaye nti oyina abatuvuma ne munteeseganya ze baalimu ezamala essaawa 7 bakkirize gundi regional tier bamala gobamu Ssemakula Kiwanuka ne bakuba baganda bannaabwe ne bali enguzi omu ssente bazimusanza mu America nga nakubye mu basajja mwe ab'Emmengo abalya ssente za regional tier ne mwegaana Museveni ono yibwa okutaka olubindi bw'amala okulya ne yegaana bw'amala okulya ssente nawe wetaka olubindi kati omulaba ng'akangabaddewo ng'alina ekyo olaba yali aleese ogumotoka ogufu ku Rolls Royce ng'era agugyeyo akangabala atabaala Obuganda omwana mubbi omwana musuma yennyini
Mukama bankumire jabo tusinga onako byakuba lwakubiri mu program the sharp talk nenyongera kubanga nkujjukiza tosikira twedde kino kyana kigenda kuba nkikusumba Dr. Kayonza wali ku mailo 11 Kasero Buloba asobola kuba nti akujjanjaba osobola kuba nti owonera ddala sukali ulcer
yes connected mbakulisaayo gye mwabadde
basambuye ne kubanga mufuna osomufuna ku namba eri 0701 877 116 0701-877-116 tatembera eddagala lye ojja kuba nti omusanga liri mu maka ge sokuba nti akolako bino naye andeetako okuba nti ogenda nange Tariki Nkata mwene ensonga kusumbwanga bono waliwo omukulu ayogedde nti ayina ebintu byegambyeko wano biri minister ya agriculture njagala tubikonako olunaku oluddako era nga njagala tubikonako
wali tumwebaze
mwabutaita waliwo omukono ampeza message
oyeta tumwebaze yete
tujja kubikonako
wajja omutu
enamba eri
mumundeetere
01
buli wajja omutwe buli wajja omutwe mwebaze yetaga kubakubya atereere mulayo
9861 agriculture tugenda kuba tujja Sunday jja
bwoba ina information tumwebaze nze nevuganga nze njinona nga nevuze nzeka banja lyo mwengeri gwa na mwengeri yajja ko program zangu
no mwana Adrian bisole je twakola yetaka yali emawale akwebaza nti alhamdulillah kuba nti ensonga zo
bamu sente
era sente ensonga zitambula bulungi
yali yaito wa Museveni tebamu humbling
yakakkanye era ensonga zitambula bulungi
I support Museveni ina champa but has provided security
program embuga ebyokola go unaita wana ensonga zo tujja kuba tuzigusa era sobola okuba nti ofuna omuntu osinga
ne motoka yange jeteramu amafuta
yes kale mukama wakumi assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah